Parliament is resumed. Any member wish to speak again to the motion that was moved this morning? Let me give the floor to the Honourable Minister for Fisheries and Marine Resources. You have the floor, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for allowing me to rise and as the Minister responsible for Fisheries and Marine Resources to join the Honourable Prime Minister in thanking His Excellency the Governor-General for the speech from the throne on the occasion of opening the second meeting of the 12th Parliament, of which the Prime Minister has moved. We, the National Parliament of Solomon Islands, hereby assembled, beg leave to offer thanks for the speech that has been delivered by you to Parliament. Mr. Speaker, it is indeed my honour and privilege to make this reply. But before that, Mr. Speaker, I want to congratulate the newly Deputy Speaker who was unopposed this morning. So, Mr. Speaker, sir, let me provide to this Honourable House an update on the work addressing the 4 key policy areas that my ministry is entrusted with. These 4 policy areas, Mr. Speaker, said to ensure fisheries and aquatic resources of some islands are ecologically sustainable, to ensure maximum economic and social benefits for people from our ecologically sustainable fisheries, to ensure all fishing operations in the country comply with some island fisheries law, regulation, license terms and conditions, policies and agreed international fisheries obligations, and to ensure strong institutional governance of Minister of Fisheries and Marine Resources to deliver accountable management of our fisheries and aquatic resources. These 4 policy areas, Mr. Speaker, sir, address the management and development of our fisheries resources, effective enforcement of our laws to ensure compliance and strengthening the institutional governance of the Ministry to deliver on the activities translated under these policies. Development of our fisheries for economic return. First, Mr. Speaker, sir, let me provide an update on our key investment projects. When fully operational, they will deliver sustainable economic and social benefits to our people and a greater economic growth for the country. Mr. Speaker, sir, Bina Hamba Tuna Processing Plant is an old story before, and Mr. Speaker, sir, I was when I was given the portfolio, the Honourable Prime Minister said Bina project must proceed. So it's one of our flagship law GNAT. And so, Mr. Speaker, said building on fundamental work on securing land access and formalizing land tenure, clarifying infrastructure needs, developing stakeholder partnership, our focus for the project is now on generating the evidence-based and operation readiness required to transition from design to construction. The key deliverables through the Bina Hamba project's office in the next 12 months include a 30% concept design report and associated cost plan documenting the total development, a detailed business case, a governance structures required to represent the interests of Bina area villages and water and harbour rights holders, sublease arrangement of consolidated and the parcels finalized, environmental and social site baseline report and the safeguard framework, public-private partnership structure presented to the Cabinet for approval and the associated rebate scheme policy enabling regulations finalized, a call for expression of interest and request for the pre-qualification issued to take up the Bina Hamba Tuna Processing Plant concession from the private tuna plant operators globally. Mr. Speaker, said to deliver this work program, the project office will be reorganized and streamlined, become more outputs, focused, work more closely with the stakeholders, including the Malay provincial government and other national government agencies, government parties and potential investors. This is very important to us, Mr. Speaker, sir, for move this project. Mr. Speaker, sir, the land and the marine geotechnical site in investigations have recently been completed for the port at Bina and enabling landslide infrastructure to support the operation of the world-class tuna processing operation. The findings will inform the development of the 30% concept design report and cost plan. Other studies and inputs to inform enabling infrastructure planning and design include constraints and mapping that to consider potential risk to the site, flooding and coastal inundation, and to identify important cultural sites and land use features such dwellings, plantations, and natural resources. This will be complete by June 2025. Construction materials surveyed sustainable resources for the supply of the land, field, and other local materials will be scoped with support of the Ministry of Infrastructure Development. Water supply and the waste water studies have been undertaken with the Ministry of Mines, Energy and Rural Electrification, and the Solomons Water Authority are likely to confirm the Kwailegua River as the project site sustainable water source. Solomons Port Authority is providing information to support project engineering, and we are exploring the potential to participate in construction of Binahamba. Consultants Royal Hoskoning and Kramer Asia Pacific are being commissioned to design the maritime and landside infrastructure. The 30% concept design report will be developed over the year and completed by September 2025, with costings to follow in October. Mr. Speaker, sir, in respect of the commercial and financial work area, with assistance of the International Finance Corporation, significant progress has been made in defining the economic and the physical aspects and development. Following the August 2024 cabinet approval of the economic and the physical modeling of the public-private partnership proposed for Binahamba, we are working together with the Ministry of National Planning and Development Coordination and the Ministry of Finance and Treasury, who lead engagement with donors and investment bodies for financing of the port utilities infrastructure as mandated. Promising discussions have been held with New Zealand, Australia, the European Union, Japan, Arab Emirates, and Asia Pacific Bank, most recently Korea's Ministry of Ocean and Fisheries. As a strong sign to our development partners of the government's commitment to the Binahamba, GNAT has determined a 10 million annual allocation to finance national projects, including the Binahamba project. IFC is undertaking a study on the debate scheme, which aims to incentive private sector investment, gauge industry responses, and develop regulations for the scheme. Mr. Speaker, sir, through the Binahamba project, Somalians is well placed to take the lead on the regional fisheries development concept that has been widely endorsed by past leaders, namely the East New Britain Initiative, which agreed to consolidate tuna processing capacity within the region to capture more value from the tuna resources. Under this model, resources-rich but infrastructure-constrained countries such as Tuvalu, Kiribati, Nauru may direct tuna catch to processing hubs like Bina. Somaliland's participation in regional fisheries framework, including the parties to the Nauru agreements, vessel day scheme, the federal states of Micronesia arrangement, and the Marine Stewardship Council certificate of catches further supports our credibility and access to high-value markets, particularly the EU. One PNA member country with a large tuna supply has indicated a strong interest in supplying tuna to the Binahamba plant, potentially participating in the processing operation, which is more encouraging, Mr. Speaker said. We have provided 2 other PNA countries with possible participation scenarios modeled by IFC for the consideration. Mr. Speaker, on potential tuna processing plant operators, two global tuna industry firms expressed seemingly serious interest in investing in and operating the Bina tuna processing plant. The interest is supported by a regional engagement on tuna supply and a prospect of a rebound on fishing access fees to offset with high operating costs. If the government moves to introduce a VAT regime and to enable social economic zones, we can expect an even stronger interest in the local tuna processing investment. Mutual confidentiality letters have been concluded with the two firms. Technical and commercial data will be shared with interested parties during the tender process via a virtual data room supported by IFC. Mr. Speaker, sir, I have given this detailed update for the Bina Hamba tuna processing plant project, given that it is a national flagship project. Accordingly, I have resolved myself to drive the work in Bina to ensure that we begin the groundwork as soon as to meet our deadline in 2028, when the processing plant should be fully operational. Mr. Speaker, we'd like to talk more about seaweed industry. Mr. Speaker, sir, our second strategic investment concerns the seaweed industry. As you know, Mr. Speaker, the GNAT government allocated 18 million to increase seaweed production, 7 million in 2024 and 11 million in 2025. This speaks to GNAT's commitment to economic growth and the socio-economic development of our people to the end of April 2025. We have established 1,050 new farms, bringing the total number of seaweed farms to 2,050, and new applications are still being received. 5 million worth of ropes were purchased and shipped to our farmers in the provinces, predominantly Wagina in Choiseul province and Rarumana in the Western province, which host the greatest number of the farms. Total seaweed production reached 3,500 metric tons by the end of 2024, and $19 million was paid to farmers. We aim to reach the 10,000 metric ton mark by the end of 2025 with an estimated value of $50 million. Furthermore, Mr. Speaker, to boost the return of seaweed export value, we have worked with CBSI to ensure a specific authority for the export seaweed. This has been done, and it will ensure that the total export earnings are remitted back to the country. Mr. Speaker, sir, my vision is the new Minister of Fisheries is that not too far in the distant future, we will process seaweed in the country before exporting. To that end, I will ensure the work of the private sector to make seaweed processing a reality in the country. Give tilapia an agricultural program. Mr. Speaker, sir, on the third strategic investment is a GIFD tilapia agriculture program at the Araligo agriculture facility. Here we are preparing to import juvenile tilapia fish this year. Work on the final two of the 4 staff houses planned for the construction at Araligo continues. Depending on availability of funds under the development budget, we aim to complete this by end of the year to allow staff to be permanently stationed at the facility. Commercial cultivation of sea cucumber. Mr. Speaker, the fourth and the final investment program that our ministry pursues is the commercial cultivation of sea cucumber resources. Mr. Speaker, say in the second meeting of the 12th Parliament, my predecessor informed this Honourable House that we have given the go-ahead for a foreign company to explore the commercial cultivation of sea cucumber. I wish to inform the House that this company has its first breakthrough in breeding sea fish cucumbers last December. About 10,000 larvae survived and settled as a small juvenile sea cucumbers. I am hopeful that the company's success rate with juveniles will increase as it conducts more breeding trials under improved protocols and conditions. My ministry will continue to support the company technically and to ensure that the commercial cultivation of sea cucumbers contributes to the economy growth. Mr. Speaker, sir, all 4 investment programs discussed above will drive economic growth and provide livelihood safety nets to our people. And in developing these key strategic investments, my ministry will ensure they are undertaken in an equitable, sustainable manner to safeguard our resources. Management to our fisheries resources. Mr. Speaker, sir, no development can occur without the sustainable management of our fisheries resources. This is the platform to which our strategic investments stand. I'm honored to inform this Honourable House, the Speaker, sir, that we have invested heavily in ensuring the management of fisheries resources, particularly our tuna resources. Some islands, the broader FFA region, the PNA have been at the front of the sustainable management of our regional tuna stocks. The management measures we have consistently taken in the region have seen the 4 tuna species in the region become the healthiest stock globally. This is a testament to the regional commitment to solidarity in the management of its region tuna stocks. Mr. Speaker, we will continue managing our tuna resources through regional and national systems. These include the PNA's Vessel Day Scheme, our own electrical port system for Nora Port, and the implementation of a national compliance strategy, crewing policy, electrical monitoring policy, and the tuna management and the development plan. Mr. Speaker, sir, our greatest challenge is the sustainable management of our coastal fisheries. With the increasing population that needs daily nutritious food, the pressure on our coastal fisheries is great. The Ministry continues to address this pressure by implementing its community-based resources management program in our communities. Under this program, communities establish their own managed marine areas, creating their own plans for the managing the resources. We have reached over 1,000 communities through this program. Mr. Speaker, as you know, we have recently opened the sea cucumber fishery to support our communities and cash incomes. I want to inform this Honourable House that the management of the beach dimmer fishery will now be community-based. Mr. Speaker, sir, the sustainable management of fisheries cannot be achieved without the effective enforcement of our own laws. We take this seriously, however, compliance work requires significant investment and support. Our work plan for 2025 will be addressing the following: review and aim the Fisheries Management Act 2025, review coastal and seashore fisheries regulation, complete the development of provincial fisheries ordinances for all provinces, progress development of a new aquaculture bill, develop the Solomon Islands National Port State measures and their corresponding standard operating procedures, and review monitoring, control and surveillance and other related policies. Mr. Speaker, sir, these activities will allow for the effective enforcement of our laws. The Speaker, sir, for the port policy is to strengthen the Ministry's institutional governance to ensure accountability management of our fisheries and aquatic resources, deliver the strategic investment I have discussed. To this end, 2025 will entail the following: MOU with other partner fisheries organizations, local, regional, and international. The new scheme of service, strengthened staff performance management with a strong rewards system, a training program based on the needs of the fisheries sector, construction completed of the MCS Center in Noro and the Malaita Fisheries Office in Aoke, and the final provincial fisheries development strategy to guide the provinces. These activities, Mr. Speaker, sir, will strengthen the Ministry's governance and its many stakeholder partners ensure the delivery of our policies. In conclusion, Mr. Speaker, sir, before I take my sheet, let me take this opportunity to acknowledge other development partners: New Zealand, Australia, the World Bank, International Finance Corporation, the Overseas Fisheries Cooperation Foundation of Japan, Japan International Cooperation Agency, and our private industry and technical partners, FFA, PNA, SBC, and Wharfish. We acknowledge all the fisheries, NGOs, and our local communities in Bina and Aroligo for their invaluable support to the ministry. I want to thank all for your support, past, present, and into the future, as we pursue the strategic investment for the betterment of our people. Mr. Speaker, sir, I wish to thank all my staff in the ministry for hard work they have rendered to the ministry. I count on them to stand fast, and we work towards our social and economic goals. Finally, Mr. Speaker, say it would be me to take this opportunity to thank my predecessor, my good friend, Honorable Nestor Giro, for his able leadership of the ministry for the last 6 years. Thank you. With remarks, I support the motion and I resume my seat. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. We give the floor to Honourable Honourable MP for Central Honiara, Chairman Casey. You have the floor, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and a very good afternoon to you also, and also to others as well. I want to join also others in contributing to this motion, the motion that has been moved by the Honourable Prime Minister, that we, you meet together, the National Parliament of Solomon Islands, that you may assemble, that we beg leave to offer thanks for the speech which has been addressed by His Excellency, the Governor General, to Parliament on the 24th of April 2025. Me no lo here lo that time. I think you have recorded me absent, but I've sent my apology that I was a little bit disabled lo that time. So yeah, little bit no more, temporarily disabled no more. Emotion, yeah. But I'm back. And as I was listening to that speech, I thought that I must thank the Governor General for gracing this House in delivering that very remarkable speech that he has delivered. It's a very good reminder, I'd say. Just on the arrangement no more, I just want to say like this, that of course the Governor General is a representative of our head of state, His Majesty King Charles III, and that normally in the Westminster arrangement, no one seat law head of state here. But I'm right. In our case law here, he has been flanked by both of you, yourself, the Speaker, and also His Lordship, the Chief Justice. So it was a very good arrangement. But maybe in the future, you may leave him for MC down level of them, make him emotion. Also, another comment, no more, the way that we invite His Excellency to come and address Parliament, of course, pursuant to Standing Order 7, that the Prime Minister has that privilege to invite His Excellency for him to address him at the beginning of all session, following his proclamation of the session. And now we are on the second session of this 12th Parliament. And I, in my observation, normal, the way that he has presented his speech to this House, I thought that he should be speaking freely to all of us as members of Parliament. But anyway, he's addressing you as a speaker at that time and to all the members of Parliament. I thought that it should have been that he should be given the privilege freely to address all members of Parliament. His words should be about owning the government. My government, Baba I'm doing Mosem. But lawyer me Talem Kamlu you speak it. He's not a member of parliament here, sir. Governor General is the head of state. He's a representative of the head of state. He should be allowed to speak freely. But milu look lo every totoko blame lawyer address him Kamlu you speaker. The tradition has always been that the head of state or the monarch and me speak to the House of Peers. That's the tradition. So I think maybe in future you should allow them to speak directly to all of us here as members of parliament, instead of addressing through you, the speaker. Maybe lulukulo this one no more. But the reminder that His Excellency and me reminding me, I think they are very, very pertinent to the way that we must put our vision, Lohana by country, and is to be run. But let me begin with the statement that the Honourable Prime Minister has delivered today, Mr. Speaker, in moving this motion. I got caught up with traffic 2 years, so I listen to the radio and then SIBC cut off. I think we need to fix the, whatever the technology that you got in Chadlo here so that, our people are not disrupted unnecessarily by some of the technical issues that you got in Chadlo here. But the Prime Minister has moved this motion by reflecting on two very important themes, unity and transformation. I think these are the very key overarching issues that I believe that the government and me try to pursue and run the whole narrative of pushing the ideas in the minds of all of us, and yourself too. You on the opposite side, how you wanted to run the government. Unity. Let me just speak on that unity. Sir, as you know, Jinat, you go through two possible disruption in that particular issue, unity. I think you ought to be reminded that, that is very, very important law, your side, Jinat. Fix that, emotion. Unity. How can you hold together, so that you can be able to have, a reliable government that can be able to deliver to our country, emotion. But I can say to you that there are evidences of that twice that you have allowed that, disunity, to happen. One, of course, just most recent, emotion. So focus on that, Mr. Speaker, through you, Prime Minister. Build that unity strong within your own self, because that is fundamental in you taking up, that responsibility for governing country. Believe me. Once that unity can break, I tell you, everything can fall apart. I've reminded you this last year, when I haven't decided to do anything at that time, but because of that unity, so focus on that. Build that unity. It has to be start within the governing party. And now you, Jinat, bear that in mind. Because our people are watching. They know very well that, there is disunity somewhere. And that is why, we have found ourselves in a situation that we got to understand. Say the other is on transformation, which is a very big calling, transformation. How do we transform emotion? So that, we can enable that growth for them to happen. We need to come up with, transformative strategy. On investment, for instance, how do we do it? Minister of Fisheries just stand up normal this time and talk about, a great length about, how we are going to deal with Bina Harbour, for instance. that being a transformative, investment. Not only you shall ever hear Minister of Fisheries, but this time you sit down there. Every Minister of Fisheries, I think for almost about how many governments that you have here, talk about no more this transformative development. But it must happen now. I must. It must happen. So we need to take a pause and then look at, what should we do? I must. What number by me doing? I mean, we have a model that has successfully been executed very well before. It started off here lo Tulagi and then landed lo Noro, where we were talking about, that transformative investment. Our founders below countries below you have done that since 1973, 1972. People like, late Kausimai, and others, Jeffrey Betty, and so forth. They were guided by a well-experienced people, expertise at that time. And they make it happen. You mean for how many governments? 6, 7 governments, you still talk about the same project. Where have we gone wrong? I still feel that one of the key drivers of economic growth is your sector here, is your fisheries here. Italian is that fisheries. It should have been mining, but then go mess into mining. It got messed up. And now you go more fisheries, excellent. You're going to do a great job there. I feel say that, for him to really transform him and drive towards growth in the country, we need to focus on fisheries. We've just had that national sustainable summit that we just go past here. I was thinking that something excellent will be coming out from that summit. But me harem go Papua New Guinea no come up very, very, very strong and aggressive in pushing what now Papua New Guinea is going to do about the fishery sector. They are now going very, very, very strong and aggressive. I just heard over the radio that there's going to be another cannery open up there, I must say, by the investment arm block government and also a company that is called R&D. This is a company that we were asking in the past to come in Lower Solomon Islands. I remember some 10 or 15 or 18 years ago, when we went to Papua New Guinea and look at, the way that they have set up their industry. We came back again. That particular investor was so interested. So what does that mean? Say, for you for go around and market him now, Binahaba. We need to sit down first time and then work him out. What is that business plan over Binahaba? And if you look at the model that is done from Tulagi right down to Noro, first thing what to do now, infrastructure first time. The Wharf, road, power. I was director of energy that time, and then we ended up putting up that power station on Noro. And after that, you get the people with the experience and expertise in fisheries cannery now. You may put him other people below me here who have no idea whatsoever how now for put him up a cannery plant here. Say, we should be looking at countries that can do that. And I think the most experienced countries in the areas of fisheries cannery are Korea and Japan. We should be picking up expertise from Japan and Korea and then come and work with us. So, you cannot go take him to Saudi Arabia or Arabia, Prime Minister. You go to Japan and Korea. You mean go market him there or money? They are at a different level of development. Or the money or sit down or something that almost every day oil no more and palm up. That is their sustainable living. The more they export oil, the more they expand their economy. Amos. Okay, I'm good. Even go ask him, whether. But I think coming back to thinking about the business case of how those transformative projects happen, let's look at countries that can be able to provide expertise to put up a good business case and proposition that investors will have the confidence for the investment. I still believe that fisheries will be the main drivers of economic growth, so that we can ensure that we transform this economy to the next level, to the next level. Samalo mival statem now, samalo investment lo past. These are transformative investment. But then go market condition him no good due to other factors. So the investment, even though they are still going, they are still holding the ground for our economy for him move forward. So I just speak on that issue. Transformative investment or transformative other development things. So these are the things that we should be talking about. I agree with you, Prime Minister, when you move this motion, you hold those two team. But at time you look long how we have been traveling in the 12th Parliament last year, Kasim this time, him a little bit hard, a little bit, we are making big statements, but capability no more. In finance, some other expertise, and possibly in the way that we are thinking how about the investment for him start. Him still missing media. They still certain inadequacy in the way that we are running and try to portray and project him now the way that this country is going to move forward into the future. But in saying that, I don't want to come up with, comment on other issues that has been moved by the Prime Minister in supporting the way that he's asking us to say thank you to His Excellency. But me like to come back no more and then try to feature him no more in the way that it is being featured in the speech that His Excellency has delivered to this House. So it's a very good reminder to all of us, and I want to thank His Excellency to continue to remind him of me twice now into the second session of this 12th Parliament, that these are the things that the government should be focusing on. I've noted here, in his speech about the public service, the need for you to transform him now, public service. I think that is a must. Salaries level have now built up to more than $1 billion. And we need to look back and see, is the public service doing the right thing to be able to support other aspects that will make real investment for him happen, real development for him happen. So we need to have a competent public sector reform. We need to do that. Once we have downsized or right-sized the public service, we say, and then some changes have happened. So we need to come up very clear as to what are we talking about reforming the public sector. What is it, Amazon? Are we going to keep them all here? And then what number have happened now, what the provincial government blaming? Amazon. Are we going to keep all these very qualified people and experts here in Honiara? But what about the province? What about the province? These are the next tier of our level of government that will be closer to the people here. For bringing that service, to bring that development right down to our people. We still haven't done that too. I think we need to start thinking seriously about that. as we talk about, the constitutional reform that, we are now trying to advance here into a federalism, what will happen to this province? If we finally decided and pushed very hard to say that, look, let's move into a federal system of government. Some province below you, like in the capacity to it. We've been talking about that in this house. So I think there is a need. What His Excellency was reminding us is that, please get down to some serious, competent reform of our public sector. Bring the best of our brains right down to our provinces. I think that will make a change here. I know it's going to be a very, very difficult thing, to do. But of course, it is fundamental, It is so fundamental in the way that, we should put ourselves, to be able to get our minds right in the way that by how this country will move forward into the future, So that's my comment on the public sector that His Excellency has reminded us. He's very right, We need to get some serious reform in our public sector. But not only here. What are we going to do with all the provinces? If we reform it here, let that reform flow to the provincial government. I have also noted that in the way that we are trying to get ourselves into transforming accountability, we are attracting a lot of events into our country so that we can learn from those events. One of them just go past here. What now you will call them Sustainable Development 14.4 Conference, or the Sustainable Development of Ocean, and so forth. That's good. Bring them here so that we can learn from those interactions that we have. We can learn from what other countries. And of course, the next one is the Pacific Islands Forum Leaders by happen here. I'm sure that all of that will slowly bring in the mindset of the people blooming, transform the mindset of people blooming. But at the same time, as we are trying to do it, instead of you doing you go ask more. Lord, other country, you come help me for me hosting more or the meeting here. That is not really a good beginning of transformation. It's almost like me, when me a little bit disabled or last 3 months here, try to doing something, but minus I doing me. So, this whole idea of transformative, you need to build a foundation very strong to it. Comes with finance. Are we financially capable? So you may put ourselves hands up and say, yes, we want to do this. But then time what look you mean no gare mo okay them MTA me like go ask malo chamal man you come help me for hosting or the meeting here. That's not a good beginning of transformation. So it's not a good beginning of transformation. But some people laugh you me. Money talk about all the big something, but him wiki one no more. So I say this because we need to focus on one thing. And everything that you may talk about here, our financial capability. You mismanaging public finance, you may buy wiki all the way. See? And me always talk about this here. This is the time, sir. I think His Excellency has reminded us, managing resources of people, of country responsibly. Be accountable. No squander resources of people. Don't squander it. I've seen someone reading lawyer about the work that is going now to build up and bolstering now the whole effort in building up fiscal reforms, to building up the fiscal capacity below government. focusing on one thing now, me look him here, His Excellency reminded me. One of the main things that I'm mentioning him is tax reform. Starting from tax administration, and now it's going over to value-added tax, which is an indirect tax. So there are only two forms of tax here, direct and indirect taxation. So in a small economy like you may, we have to balance him now. What is the most effective taxation that you may have to apply? Is it more on direct, a little bit longer indirect, or how? That's how we need to balance it. And I know that, the new Minister of Finance, my good friend, he used to be my officer before too. Me take him from Gizo, come to be my officer lawyer, and I really want to congratulate him that Prime Minister, you give him the second chance to be the Minister of Finance. But I'm called beating me because me, two-time Minister of Finance too here, but him kakalai follow me too here, So I congratulate him. Please, congratulations, and I know that you will do a great job, in that ministry. Sure. There are only two forms of tax, direct and indirect taxation. We always talk about, see, how na you will forget him na capital gain. Tax him. Direct taxation. Tax him of the wealthier. There are huge money going around in the country right now. Assets have been transferred from one to the other, and we are missing taxation. Stamp duty is not enough to capture the real value of income that is moving around. Prime Minister, take note of that. Capital gain tax. It's a form of direct taxation. But of course, that is what visibly we can see right now moving around here. How income flow and financial resources move around within the economy. Value-added tax, yeah, I'm true. But same income will move around, why you try to go and scrap him there. But when the lower people, because finally, value-added tax is a consumption tax here. You push them go down now, like a man below. To our consumers, the rural people, or the not by pay. So you're basically, as what you describe him, broadening him to the base here. Go down low at the man. But I mean, look at the man, the rural area, who not income. Somebody you go lay down the house, no more. Hi, how more? What lay down the house, no more? What here, Baba Ham Kasim, what there? That's where the incidence of what tax will be. And time we talk about the incidence of tax, there are social, political, and economic implications or ramifications that have come out of it. Lord, that one's country, if that one, I'm really hitting with the voters here. I'm really hitting with the voters. So what will go down to who? But all the man go down there. But time we go there, you, anyone order by pay. The first thing order by doing now is, how am I count? Aye. Can I count? By collecting what law count supposed to say? What here? Store by him off here. That's where the incidence of tax by him fall down over there. Lord, rural people, and our people must listen out today. Me like tell him what here Bible you here. Driven by the concept of consumption. So you may try for look how now you may talk about this whole reform of the fiscal something. Reform of taxation. What number you may reform? I think you may rearrange him no more. Because you cannot reform him. There are only two systems of taxation, direct and indirect one. You either choose this one, you balance him or no more. Me like to encourage him government, given the current situation, blame inside this time, make a small note, no more long tax law blame. Capital gain, taxable. And finish now. And I tell you, Prime Minister, you will run the government right up to 2028. Because we will balance it. And of course, time you put him that money, My submission to you is that you loan a little bit income tax here, because by you pick up from capital gain, if all man begaram staka asset lawyer, no start for worry. Good, you will not, but you will start for worry. No more. You should not worry. Yeah. Fisheries by him no, Kasim law, but by him no more. Because it's all about going down. Because direct taxation must hit him income and wealth here. Why not you stop there? No man say you concentrate not on the income. By him tell digi go. Or the tax officer say by God ended up. God tell you go no more. Here believe you go now. I don't want that system anymore. Minister Brolan sabe. Yeah. I'm sorry. Because he's a tax expert. So my submission is this. If you want to strengthen more the fiscal situation of the country, you may tax him now, capital gains here. Every man about shooting truck below, but I have to tell us this so that, this country will grow strong. Because him know what this house is all about. We must contribute meaningful and purposeful suggestion, to help the government to build a better approach, trajectory, setting up the right trajectory for this development moving for our country and move forward. Also say me read him now speech from the throne, excellent. So eloquently delivered by His Excellency in gracing this house. And me look him now statement there that in terms of our foreign policy, we have gone against the United States of America. Say comment normally speech from the throne, you don't attack another head of state or policy to another country. Next time, people know advising GG for emotion. At a political level, we can do that, but not bringing him up to the representative head of state. That putting up the very strong statement that we view the United States renewal or withdrawal of Paris Agreement here, we are really basically attacking the United States here. My suggestion, Mr. Speaker, please keep our foreign policy at a moderate level, at a level that you may be capable of dealing with. No bring go na level below head of state to say it for us. I'm sure the king wouldn't do that to the president of the United States. He'll leave it to the political government. And I'm sure that the statement to be delivered by His Majesty from the throne to the House of Peers, but I am not containing something was in. So, no more. Have no more small part of there. So, but say me look no lo side lo what some of things that have been mentioned under the foreign affairs and foreign policy sector very good. For instance, talking about our special gratitude to the government of Japan for building now Kilupi Hospital. Me remember Mlongaman Blomival before we have to take a vote whether I'm going Gizo or I'm going Kilufi or Kirakira. Trivalent. Because Japan himself indicate him come. He's interested to continue his work in improving now hospitals Bloyumi. Mivala win that time for take him now first one and go Gizo. And that time we also decided that the second one must go now Kilupi. And later it will go to Kirakira. So just consistent with what the leader of opposition and Talib, there needs to be some appreciation of what past governments have done. We need to appreciate these visions and the trajectory of the way that our government in a way, keep that consistency in making some of this development happen with our development partners. I think that's the message that our leader am telling today. Let's appreciate, give some recognition and appreciation to the past government. And at that time, I know that, he was government, and the former member from Northeast Gorkana was the Prime Minister, Dr. Sikwa. So some of these have gone that far, say. And then I've seen some aggressive or some better, upgrading, step-up engagements that we've been having with some international organizations as well. That's excellent, Mr. Speaker. Prime Minister, thank you for doing that. The relationship with the International Renewable Energy Agency. This organization started off in Copenhagen when we failed to reach the agreement in 2009. EMNA, International Renewable Energy Agency. So it somehow, pop up when these names and acronyms pop up, remind them some valuable too. Also. When these agencies, and I can say to you that in the Pacific, the first country we have sent up to be part of the arena is Solomon Islands. It is Solomon Islands. And we were also the first to have received assistance from Arena 2 here, that has gone to which project? Tina Hydro. Tina Hydro, where this time here, loan blame go up more. People like a loan more. What has gone wrong? Seriously, Mr. Speaker, government, let us come up openly. What has gone wrong with Tina Hydro? Let us be honest to our people. Now we are projecting 2028 or 2029 now for the first, power to come out and by fully commercially operational. But let's tell our people what now. Let's sit back and then work him out. Please, government, you find some better, avenue for you, discuss him, and then you may improve him a little bit of the implementation of this Tina Hydro project here. The original cost has now blown up, probably 5 or 6 times. And I know that, from the budget last year, Minister of Finance, we are now prepared, making some preparation for some kind of a loan financing, debt financing for Tina Hydro. That's a reality. People who never said no sit down in cockroach or some comment here. They are good for you, maybe one day. It's going to go up some 5 or 6 times here. But what does that mean? It means that our future generation is going to repay it. That's the ultimate outcome of debt financing. We are projecting it for the future generation. From this very weak foundation that you got this time here, and we are projecting that other generation in future will grow strong to repay it. My message is this. Let's build a strong foundation right now. We are so weak, yet we are hungry for debt financing. A weak man, then you say, you go kakai my ice cream, but you kill him, man. But you kill him. It will not be good for his health. Sorry, that is a little bit of a metaphor, but I think it is important for you, Talem, and then speak, very candidly about it, in this house, how we are positioning ourselves now into the future. This is all about putting ourselves in the right foundation to be able to carry this whole narrative of transformation, transformative message going forward, I've noted some very successful conferences that, we've hosted here, and again, I came across it, God repeated again, this particular part of His Excellency's speech, which is quite good, the SDG 14.4. I think that's where I got that memory from. SDG 14.4 summit. See, I was waiting for Yumi Solomon Islands to say in a very, very strong, emphatic, and aggressive engagement of that conference, this is what Solomon Islands is going to do. Instead, Miharem Noma, we support what na Papua New Guinea doing. Aye, Emblo Papua New Guinea. So let me say this, don't forget about our fisheries sector. Minister of Fisheries here, I think he's an excellent guy to be in that ministry. Me like to ask him, you may give him a round of applause here, but I think I'm all right now, my friend. Yeah, I'm also. If we build Trifala, Canary, Blue Milo here, we will provide some 6,000 to 7,000 jobs. I'm also. Get the right expertise to come, that has the right business mind and the technical requirements that he needed to be able to come and then put him up this proposition. Why organizations or international or multinational development banks, MDBs here, are sitting down and basically, showing to us, a very uncertain kind of a gesture? It's simply because of them, they haven't seen the business plan properly. Mr. Speaker, I'm suggesting to the Prime Minister right now, do as what our leaders have done in the past. Or to go to Japan and Korea, build them up now, the Canaries Blue Yumi. Ports facility have done first time Lonoro, and then the Canary and finally have become. Port facility, all other related infrastructure, road, power, water. But what I am still disputed this time, Yaba member below Saudi Georgia. But still rawa lo water lo ziata. So don't do that more lobina. Ngudi mi rawa lo water more. Emotion. Lo here but him still rawa lo water Kongulai. So put those risks lo front lo yumi, which is the one that is going to give us a lot of trouble. As we have this very strong and determined mind for Yumi to build this real investment for country blue Yumi emotion. Because that is the message that should come to you, Jinatia. You must try as much as possible to do one single investment this time for country. Every investment that you wakalo heme or chamfala Olman blue Yumi or the Pasavate or do him come before it. Palm oil. What here? Canary. Fishing canary blue Yumi. What else? National Provident Fund and all these sort of things. So it's almost like a big house with two small legs no more. Ooh, man. We have given a heavy load to some of these very old investments that you mean gareme. Some of the karakil you mean make them back emotion. So I think that is the real challenge that we should be challenging us as we govern this country. Emotion. I'm putting those suggestions to you. If you mean garem triple canary, I think we will be able to match the number of workers or labor force that we have sent to labor mobility, which is now at what? Some 7,000 or 8,000. Why can't we talk about doubling now this canary lonoroya? Because it's already there. That's the kind of a message that we should be talking about. Say, know what we should talk about here. Look at what Papua New Guinea has done. Oh, they've gone into problem. They have just announced another canary came open. You still one no. Odno start law 1973. Papua New Guinea has no canary. You mean start first time? This time order by go 6 or 7. You mean 1 it. How much? Minister, can you do it, Smokey? Sorry, I mean, me talk direct or some come you no more. Sorry, Mr. Speaker, he's my friend. Nothing. Let's do it. Minister of Finance, let's do it. I know ultimately the Prime Minister is going to do it. Emotion. We build him triple canarino. This country will really transform. Emotion. That's how we will do transformation. Shame. I'm sorry, I'm just commenting on, what I mean, speech here. Me could comment for more. Speech blow excellent here. Emotion. It's excellent. But it's written in a different way. It's almost the same one we had delivered last year. But its subtitles are all in thematic. This time we have ministry more. Very style writing below speech below the throne. I think it's an excellent one. He is now zooming down to what we need to do. Coming down to the ministry and calling to the ministry, you need to do this, you need to do this, you must do this. That's what I am picking up from him. Say me looking here also in the areas of investment, commerce, industry, labor, industry, and so forth. I think something me looking here, it looks very good, but it's not making an impact. Trade and export development. How much of that has happened? We need to back it up with numbers so that it can give that promising picture, to our people. Not just no more same title or same no more than something. We need to come up with some figures. Where are we? Trade and export development. So, private sector and small medium enterprise. They're still struggling. Some follow what I'm Central Honiara. I brought them to your ministry when you were there, Minister of Finance. They were knocked out long COVID and riot. They really struggled. They're still struggling right now. I know we have capitalized the Old Man Bank of Solomon Lands, but the first people for go and borrow malo there, you miss too. Yeah, that's what I heard. Small Malay, I think you. Oh, okay. Small Malay no involved. Ah, oh yeah, aye. Oh look at that. So instead of the small people go borrow because it's under small medium enterprise, you me big people. You me labeling myself a small, medium enterprise. That's not good. That's not good. That's not good. Let's find some real capital for Development Bank of Solomon Islands. There is still a problem on them DBSI to support small, medium enterprises. That capital throughput here is not there. You mean go borrow lo National Provident Fund and I think lo Solomon Power, then go give him go lo DBSI, then you me sell to go more. Ay, what a kind of motion. I know Mr. Prime Minister will take note of this and he's going to come up with a right message when you move your closing remark, my friend, Prime Minister. Let's look into that. I said the special economic zone in Loya. We had one special economic zone before. Let me do it. Say this. Where? Mamara Tasivarongo. That was a special economic zone. Mamara lo not this time. And become a housing scheme, blue public service now. Special economic zone, no. The whole legislation go Mamara Tasivarongo ya. Hem special economic zone ya. Or the hotel Blumia, they should be labeled a special economic zone. Noro should be the special economic zone. Ingon lo Araraya, KPL. KPL is also a special economic zone, and me want him now, Minister of Police, spoil him now, KPL. Yeah. Me tight to start him, time you small boy here. This time you walk out and make him grow. No spoiler. No more. Him national asset here. Who said it? I said it. National asset. Because Hani have signed him now. So no spoiler. These are special economic zones. Me fright a little bit, lo time you describe him special economic zone, me tell him legal straight. Special economic zone belong Langkawi, lo Malaysia. It's a huge development. Tourism, everything. You go back today, Langkawi no mana. Penang was supposed to be the Silicon Valley of Asia. That was a special economic zone. You go back this time, Penang, Silicon Valley, no. Ay, no more. Evil man go Penang, no, emotion. I'm just warning us, emotion. Because the way I read this legislation, there is this overarching legislation. Time state government him come, what number you do him no, this is overarching legislation. But you give him who? Huh? That's a question that you go to ask. Who are we going to give it to? Or what is going to happen to that special economic zone? We just repeal it and disable him now? Or get rid of it? Or buy him die or say mamara no more? How? That was special economic zone. We should learn from mamara. You should not go to Papua New Guinea. You should go to mamara lo here and say, oh, him no good ba? Him know what him should do. Instead of tourism now is the first phase of development. Him go this time, him what? Public service housing. Aye. This one last year now, him go this time, go first now. Say I'm reminding us of this because, we need to little bit reconsider now how we think about, some of these very strategic things that, we are talking about. Otherwise, we fall into the same pit no more. Otherwise, we will fall into the same pit. And remember, time you fall into that same pit here, who number come picking me up? No more. You may fall down, finish here. Stuck a time. So look at what now him should grow me first time in this very, very immediate time. Mining should be the first emotion. Look at energy. Prime Minister, I heard that you were saying that you are negotiating with Solomon Power to bring it down by 25%. You know what? My projection is this. If that 25% him continue go in 5 years' time, Solomon Power where him you may say down him 25%, yeah, by him barabab. Bicycle kick come back to government and say, okay, empty now, sorry, my apology. Something else, yeah. No more. Me, by him bicycle kick come back and then say, no, basket him empty now. That's not the way for you to bring him down, tariff down. That's not the way. We should look at other renewable sources, to bring down tariff. Other countries have done it. Panels over the roof. What not wrong for promoting that one? Put him go panels every roof house we are going to do it in Central Honiara for every settlement. But we'll put him out the panels for feed him now some 10 or 15 houses. That's our plan. That's the way for you bring him down, tariff down. Because what is fueling up the higher tariff is fuel. Fuel is not a go down. The tension in the Middle East is not going to ease there immediately. It's going to continue. Uncertainty in Europe, Ukraine, but him continuity. That's why we have the right Pope elected. For him control him now, Trump, and try to find a solution along Ukraine. And I want to offer my congratulations to His Holiness, for his election. The first American Pope. So, I think he's going to balance the whole world. This whole power struggle that is going on. So that's the way for you for pulling price go down. It does not go by us emptying the pocket below Solomon Power. But in 5 or 6 years' time, by Solomon Power run come back by full no anything by him no anything no. It's almost like the directors in the past running these SOEs go write him check every week no more long pocket belong waneme lo kasia belong sol water SOE. That's why I took that very strong decision for reform Mogada, came up with this SOE Act. Then my friend him go reverse him one fellow. I think you better reverse it. You reverse goes him, you reverse him go back to Amazon. That's the way to go. Let's look at renewable sources, whether it be solar photovoltaic, or imigol or the mini or micro hydros here, rural electrification. That has been a long-standing policy, rural electrification. It's all about renewable energy, mini hydro, micro, and so forth. Well, tina hydro, mini hydro, no more. It's a very small operation, but we can go to this micro level, lower the village, and we should do it in Makira, Luhialo Malaita. They have all the potentials. You may not come and read him no more rural electrification, Luhia, but no anything happen now. That's not transformation. Say. I wasn't talking to them. That's not transformation. Lord, islands believe me that have that potential. Let's build those renewable energy operations, plant and system. We will do lo malu. We did it lo where Jejebo, lo Beulah. Then that was it, But let's make this Tina Hydro for Mwaka. But for the urban center, this is what we need to do. Exploring how Nababayimi reducing that price here. That tariff. You may say price make more the people, ordinary people or the harem. The price of electricity, and that is defined as tariff. Finding options, to reduce that power. These are things that, and I know that the new Minister of Mines and Energy, I think he's not here, but I think by Mahare Kamnoma, will take note of that. Let's move into some of these renewable alternatives that can be able to bring it down, the price down. And you never know too, there will be excess power from them, they will be selling it back to the grid. They will be selling it back to the grid. So let's come up with a national program for every urban centers. You go to these advanced countries, you will see that solar panels are all over, on top of all the roofs, and protecting the roofs too, from corrosion, So think about that. I think that's the way to go. That's the way to go. Let's see some way forward for you, to be able to make that difference. But for you to go and continue for negotiating more, 25, then you will say, even down in more of 50%. It's all about eating up the reserve of the money. In other words, we are asking them to subsidize directly. But it will affect their operation in 6 or 7 years' time. Possibly maintenance below the transmissions and the distribution. And you know that, these generators, they run almost 365 days a year, but Honiara no more stop for some time. But in some places, it runs continuously. So you need the parts. Spares must be available. So these are very expensive to manufacture. Deputy Prime Minister, Wokalo New Zealand longo or the plant where engineering plant where the making more the parts, blow the aircraft and all. So he knows it, even generators and so on. So, congratulate him now, sorry, Mr. Speaker. Congratulations, Deputy Prime Minister, and I really admire you sitting there. My admiration to you, yeah. He's a great engineer, and such a great engineer to have him as Deputy Prime Minister of our country. Thank you. So that's my take on the issue of Yumi pushing water. Let's look at these other sources of energy for even our urban centers too. Why we are seeing most of our mineral ores, being transported out of the country simply because there is no power capacity to do processing here. So if there is no power capacity, tell them to stop first time. Prime Minister, maybe you ask the Minister of Mines, stop issuing more the P1M. What are you? PLO. GDL. No more. GDL, no, that one. PLO. PL. No more. PL. And stop him GDL too. Don't issue more GDL. Please, Prime Minister. That's what we want you to do. Cancel every GDL, cancel him every PL. You may build him up capacity, Let's project into the next 5 years for mining by takeover of fisheries. I think that's how we should be thinking transformatively and strategically moving forward. Me not touching agriculture because that's the most exciting part now, agriculture. He's going to be a real game changer, agriculture. And we need to have him there. We need to have him there. Prime Minister, stop him GDL, stop him PLO here. Then let's refocus, Mr. Speaker. Because I can tell you, there's a lot of mess here. Let's think about it. Don't hide those mess. Yeah, talk frankly about it. And if you talk frankly about it, you'll be a very better government. You'll be a very mature government. You will be a better government. I can assure you. There won't be any issue of unity. You will be a very, very solid entity for governing country. But on energy again, we should be thinking about geothermal. It's a very stable source of energy. Very stable. Much, much more stable than the hydropower. We have initiated shower geothermal in the past. Go put him low, back seat now. Savo can power even right up to Central Island Province and also here, right around Logora Canal. We should be looking for better energy sources that, will stabilize him now. The price that we are paying for right now. Otherwise, we will continue with this fossil, the burning of the fossil fuel. Why we continue? And we should be thinking about what Bougainville is doing right now. The prospect of Bougainville going into independence and the mineralization of Bougainville is going to be a huge factor for Yumi. Don't forget that. But they need power. Prime Minister, I am telling you, you start talking with the Minister of Energy, you may develop him a parasol so that we can export power to Bougainville. Just like Canada exporting power to the United States of America. Hydro, geothermal. That's the kind of transformative thinking that we should be thinking about going forward. Not too much kind of seminar, looking here. And then we come to the oil spillage where it happened now along Ren Bellona. We need to fix it. I just want to make a small comment normal with that one. When I listened to the answers this morning, Minister Blom, Environment have not tell him now. Which law now you may take him action law him? Because the Attorney General is talking about the bunker protocol, which is quite different from the Environment Act Blue Solomon. He's describing something which Baba have not end up long support him now, this is action law, this is bunker. The bunker, I used to be Director of Energy before, Mr. Speaker, Prime Minister. I have known what is called the LLM, the Convention on the Limitations of Civil Liabilities, law maritime. It was done law something 1976, then 1996, and then later on it comes to what is called a bunker protocol. which is what all the insurance company lo Wale have always pay the insurance based on compliance lo banca protocol. So when the question was asked to the minister today, he was describing something, and I'm not too sure whether that action here, but I'm supporting now our actions against compensation claim lo banca protocol. I'm not too sure. See? So, Mr. Speaker, maybe Prime Minister, you check him that one. We want our law to be enforced, the Environment Act. That Environment Act. Everything that the Minister is describing today, it should build up to a case that the Solomon Islands government has taken an action against that particular pollution done by that license holder. But money make him go no him pushing go aging all morning today. Look at that. That's I don't know. I mean, we should be asking him, what of that report that you found him out along Rainbow now should build up a case that we can prosecute him under the Environment Act of the Solomon Islands. That should be the way that our minister should be thinking here, Mr. Speaker. So, Prime Minister, you ask him back again. How na babayi be doing? We need to use our own law, the Environment Act, passed by this House. Otherwise, every law here become useless. No more time or something or something. No, we cannot. We cannot allow that. Man, the highest law-making body block country in this world, and passing this Environment Act. Not the Banca Protocol. The Banca Protocol is for all the international shipping something. Environment Act no more. You should rely on it. When that liability is being committed, whoever it is under that Environmental Act must be liable for compensation to the government of Solomon Islands, provincial government, and the resource owners. Full stop. Put away. No more. So that's what we should be doing there, the Ministry of Mines. So perhaps, Minister, you, Prime Minister, please, I just want to put that suggestion, and I know that the Minister for Minister Blow Mines will take note of that share. I've spoken a little bit low housing no more. Say, one of the key things that you will find how people react to the way the economy is the cost of living. Housing is one of them. Of course, inflation, but the issue of housing, say, the urban housing, public service housing, all of these are now in a mess. Let's get our urban development here right. Come up with a better scheme for housing for our public offices. Standardize and make it to be one of the driver growth block country. If we do that, I think our MDBs are going to listen to us. Minister of Finance, talk to some of the subsidiaries below the MDBs, IFCs and others. See the potential in the housing, urbanization of the country. That's one way of bringing that money into the country and then pour it into the economy. Transformation by him come. But this one, on this note, I want to speak on behalf of the people of Central Honiara to the Minister of Lands. We've already now for regularize him now at land here. We have a budget. We have started off with a budget of 100,000. So you think him too. Send your officers to come. We want to come and make sure regularize him now at the TOA so that they can become FTA. We are ready for that. And I'm sure that the people of Central nearby or the listen come or they will love this. So say by me stop now. I'm go for 4 o'clock now. But we should think about other things too. I must talk frankly to all of us. The gaming policy of the country I'm still not yet put in the right position. Prime Minister, I think it's about time that we need to look into this, because it blends into the question and the design of taxation in most modern economic systems. It's a form of you go and then find him out now why there is a high income disposal. Him not done lo the shops, but him go done na lo the tables here. Him must think frankly about this. You talk about the high flyers around the world or within our country, in the resource sector or in the extractive sector. Go in there, pull him up, the full basket bloater, and then not drop him inside Golo there. Isn't that eligible for a disposal of taxation? I would say yes. So let us study this system here properly. Time you come now there, you will run, head blue will go down, no more. Country blue you me, man. Let us study how a system behind work out properly for you. It's a win-win situation, must be a fair one for all of us. That's what we need to do. Meeting in Baham Lothem, but more something no, me doing no more logistics of particular paragraph here. And me civil registration in me no more council no more. Me town council. Say, I tell you, if you want to ask me where do you find a bigger disposal of income, I'm not there. I'm right about that. Me cannot say no to it. That is very true. So let's find a system that by me blend very well in the way that we capture income fairly for everyone. It is almost about the same kind of a scheme for me be able to extract reasonably out of capital gains. Out of capital gains. So Minister of Finance and Minister of Planning, please you think about it and then help the Prime Minister, Mr. Speaker. Tuwala student blumi, so me to talk all tuwal harem too. But come late, tuwal no like follow me too, right no more. So say me by almost 1.5 no more, I was so thrilled to hear the manner in which His Excellency and the whole lot of you who were here. My apology, me bara temporarily disabled a little bit now at that time. So me sit down normal house. But I want to come and join all of you to thank His Excellency for the gracious speech that he has delivered to this house. All other side comments are side comments, but these are pertinent comments on very, very fundamental issues that affect him comfortably. Mr. Speaker, unity and transformation has to begin here, in Chadlo here now. In Chadlo heart blowing me everyone in Chadlo here. We must be the carrier of those ideas and themes, and it has to be part of our normal narratives. Him know what you need to do, lawyer. But as you short say through this motion, yes, I am together with you, me together in this national parliament, that we say thank you and offer our thanks for the speech which has been addressed by His Excellency, the Governor General to Parliament on the 24th of 2025. I agree with you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honourable MP for Central Honiara. Any other members who wish to contribute to the motion? Let me give the floor to the Honourable MP for East Malaita. You have the floor, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. First of all, I would like to thank the Honourable Prime Minister for moving the motion for Imisaure. Talk a little bit, Lodiswala. Traditional speech, His Excellency the Governor General. So thank you, Honourable Prime Minister. Yes, Mr. Speaker, I rise today with respect and gratitude for the opportunity to respond to the traditional speech from the throne, delivered by His Excellency, the Governor General of Solomon Islands, at the opening of the third meeting of the 12th Parliament. His words were filled with hope, commitment, and a call for unity, all of which we as leaders must take seriously. As a former Minister for Infrastructure Development, and now as an independent member of this Honorable House, I commend the aspirations outlined in the speech. They reflect a government determination to transform this country. But I also rise with a sense of realizing and responsibility to offer a measured, constructive, and independent response. Because speeches, while powerful, are only as effective as the collective will to turn words into action. Mr. Speaker, sir, before I continue, let me congratulate the new Deputy Prime Minister, my friend, Honorable Colgetto, for your new role as Deputy Head of the Executive Arm. I further want to congratulate the Minister for Infrastructure Development, Honorable MP for Central Korai, and I do believe the ministry is in good hands under your leadership. Congratulations on your new role. Other new ministers, congratulations on your new role. And also my good friend, Minister for Fisheries, Honorable Bradley. Also, I would like to congratulate Honorable for East Honiara for taking up the Deputy Speaker post. To start off, Mr. Speaker, I must begin with a principle that underpins the strength of any democratic society. Leaders come and go, but strong institutions must remain. During my time as minister, I saw firsthand how much we depend on our public institutions to get things done. It is not the minister who builds roads, maintains airstrips, or looks at our maritime security outlooks. It is the public service, the engineers, policy planners, clerks, supervisors, and drivers who do the day-to-day work of nation building. And yet many of our institutions remain outstretched or unfunded. The speech rightly points to the upcoming Public Service Bill and the need to improve institutional performance. We must invest in people, systems, and accountability mechanisms. We must ensure that ministries are not just extensions of political will, but professional bodies equipped to serve across political cycles. If we truly believe in transformation, we must safeguard institutional memory, capacity, and independence. Leaders come and go, strong public institutions save our people. As a former minister responsible for national infrastructures, I listened closely to the government's plans under the infrastructure pillar, the announcement of the National Building Standard Bill, the re-establishment of the Public Works Department and the Provincial Works Department, and a new draft government vehicle policy are positive steps. But these are not new ideas. Many of these policies were initiated or drafted in previous terms. The test now is not policy design, but execution. Today, often we see groundbreaking ceremonies followed by silence. We see roads laid that crumble within a season. We commission buildings without water or power. Mr. Speaker, this must change. Our infrastructure must reflect total value, not just cost, but quality, longevity, accessibility, and community benefit. It has been a previous challenge and will continue to be a challenge for the hard-working officers of the Ministry of Infrastructure and their new minister to tackle. Building new roads and maintaining our infrastructures will always be a national challenge until we have a permanent fix to it. Therefore, to achieve this, I encourage the government and our new Minister for Infrastructure to consider establishing a national infrastructure delivery authority with the capacity and autonomy to implement complex projects. Review the Road Transport Legislation Roads Act. There must be clarity in various roles. This legislation established in clear mandates and operational matters to improve our policy and implementation framework. Invest in our local engineers and tradespeople through training and long-term career development. Continuous engagement with our private sector within the industry. Advance our national maritime roadmap and the enhancement of our maritime manpower by supporting Sino Maritime College and introduce the new maritime apprenticeship and traineeship program on nautical studies. Mr. Speaker, in 2025 speech from the throne sets out a bold and admirable vision. But we must not forget that Solomon Island is a country of vast disparities. While we speak of special economic zones and digital towers, many communities in Malaita, Southlands, Vela La Vela, and Reno, Temotu is lacking reliable clinics, proper school facilities, and inadequate infrastructures. We cannot build a stable, united nation if development is lopsided. We cannot speak of national unity when rural people feel abandoned. Let us be reminded that real transformation is not measured in Honiara, but in the provinces. And so I urge the government to ensure that rural development is not just rhetoric, but resourced. That rural roads are not just in plans, but paved. That rural clinics do not just have buildings, but have doctors, nurses, and medicines. Mr. Speaker, I'm convinced about the national deficit now standing at over 1.2 billion. While development demands investment, we must ensure that our borrowing is strategic, our spending is disciplined, and our people are informed. The government must be transparent about how loans are used and how they will be repaid. Every dollar borrowed in our name must be accounted for, and every project finance must be assessed for long-term benefit. As an independent member, I will continue to advocate for a fiscal responsibility framework, stronger parliamentary oversight, and citizen engagement in budgetary decisions. We owe it to our children not to mortgage their future for short-term gains. Mr. Speaker, the speech rightly highlights that over 70% of our population is under the age of 34. This is a statistic of importance. It is a reality that defines our future. But today, many young people are unemployed, uneducated, unless we create meaningful jobs, skills programs, and youth-led enterprises. We risk turning a demographic dividend into a demographic disaster. We have a youthful population, Mr. Speaker, and we need to have youthful solutions. Our young people are our energy and source of strength. We must harness this strength, Mr. Speaker, to help build our livelihoods and economy. Mr. Speaker, I call for renewed integrity in our politics. If we are to realize transformation, we must change our own house. We must clean our own house. We need to strengthen our accountability institutions, the Leadership Court Commission, the Ombudsman, the Auditor General, and the Public Accounts Committee. These bodies are the watchdogs of our democracy. They must be funded, respected, and empowered to act without fear or favor. And as a member of the independent bench, Mr. Speaker, I say this with convictions. Independents are not enemies of government, no pawns of opposition. We are voices of the people, free to support what is right and oppose what is wrong. Mr. Speaker, sir, a bipartisan approach to major national constitutional matters, such as the proposed federal constitution, is not only prudent but necessary. These issues transcend political cycles and party lines. They stretch at the heart of our nation's long-term governance, identity and unity. I therefore support the call by the leader of the official opposition for deliberate and inclusive dialogue on these matters, engaging all sides of the House, as well as our provincial leaders, our traditional authorities, and civil society, ensures that any constitutional reform, particularly one as transformative as federalism, is grounded in consensus, clarity, and national ownership. Let us draft a cooperative process that reflects the will of the people and strengthens the fabric of our democracy. Mr. Speaker, speeches are important, but as our people say, tok finish now, then this time you work on. It is time to turn vision into policy, policy into budgets, and budgets into real change in our communities. As a former Minister of Infrastructure and now as independent voice in this House, I stand ready to support what is good, challenge what is weak, and propose what is better. Let us be remembered not for our words in this chamber, but the schools we opened, the clinics we staffed, and the lives we uplifted. Let our legacy be institutions that save long after we are gone. May God bless our work. May God bless our people and our public service. May God bless this Parliament. May God bless all the leaders and members of Parliament. And may God bless Solomon Islands. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honourable Dr. Ismail. Any other member who wishes to contribute to the motion? Let me give the floor to Honourable Minister of Finance and Treasury, and MP for North West Choice. So you have the floor, sir.
Honourable Speaker of Parliament, honourable members of our Parliament, fellow citizens and residents of our beloved country, ladies and gentlemen, I thank you for allowing me, Mr. Speaker, to join other members to contribute to the Prime Minister's motion to respond to speech from the throne by His Excellency the Governor-General. Mr. Speaker, I thank His Excellency for his timely speech, reminding us to perform our duties responsibly and to be accountable for the economic and social well-being of our beloved people of Solomon Islands. Mr. Speaker, sir, before I go through the updates from the Ministry of Finance and Treasury, I would like to commend honourable members of Parliament for their support to remain and to maintain political stability during the recent political
instability that we have experienced. Mr. Speaker, sir, hear me very true that I recognize the constitutional rights of members to move motion of no confidence, the rights of members under the Political Party Integrity Act to switch their interest and allegiances, Mr. Speaker, sir. But, sir, political instability is one of the major development distractors in our country. In Solomon Islands, since our independence in 1978, this parliament is the 12th parliament since our independence, and of the 12 parliaments, Solomon Islands had experienced political changes in about 7 parliaments. So in these about 28 years of frequent government changes out of the 47 years of our independence coming to this July. Mr. Speaker, sir, we can see that we have more years of political instability crisis than having a stable government. Sir, our journey as a sovereign nation has not been easy. On top of internal political instability, we have been further hampered by natural disasters, the ethnic tensions, the global financial crisis, and the recent pandemic and the 2021 November riots. For the past 47 years, Solomon Islands' major development challenges remains imminent. This includes low economic growth, weak governance, poor infrastructures, low levels of sanitation, undeveloped private sector, low employment opportunities, high population growth, and frequent social political instability. In this connection, sir, the GNAT believes that in order for any transformation to happen in this country, we need unity and stability. His Excellency, the Governor-General, has clearly outlined unity and stability as one of the 4 strategic pillars of GNAT to transform our economy, social, cultural, spiritual, and political landscape. The GNAT believes that these pillars form the foundation of a stronger and more resilient Solomon Islands. The sole responsibility to maintain unity and stability rests upon us, individual MPs. His Excellency stated, and I quote, "But the success of this vision rests on all of us. It is through our collective unity and active participation that we will advance our nation's progress. Without collective unity and stability, progress is inevitable." Mr. Speaker, sir, let me now turn to highlight some major achievements of the Ministry on Economic and Government Finance Policy and Financial Reforms. Therefore, I would like to thank the former Minister for Finance and Treasury for his steadfast leadership and support that enabled the Ministry to achieve these results. You have set the policy foundation and will continue to progress these policies from where the former Minister left. In fact, they are all GNAT's policy programs, which we must continue with. Mr. Speaker, sir, I would like to make a general observation that the achievements made by the government is a testament of ongoing political stability in the past that we have experienced with the DCGA and GNAT recently. Because of the steady and stable government, the government is able to focus its attention to address and mitigate health and economic recovery investments since the unprecedented COVID-19 and the civil unrest in 2021. Mr. Speaker, sir, for the 2024 economic performance, Solomon Islands economy grew by 2.5% in 2024, 2.9% growth rate in 2023, which is above the pre-COVID-19 level of 1.7% in 2019. The lower growth rate in gross domestic product between 2024 and 23 and 25, Mr. Speaker, is attributed to a combination of external and internal factors, including challenges in global markets, local disruptions by national general election, stabilization in logging activities, adverse weather conditions affecting agriculture and infrastructure, and a decline in construction activities related to the Pacific Games as the event concluded in 2023. On the key economic indicators, labour market performance picked up by 4% in 2024 compared with the year 2023. Members' active contribution increased to 59,494 employees in 2024 compared to 57,151 in 2023. The inflation rate in the Solomon Highlands has risen to 4.7% in 2024. This upward trend is driven by a combination of global and domestic factors, including rising global commodity prices, fluctuations in the exchange rate, and domestic supply chain disruptions. In terms of the balance of payments, Solomon Islands' current account deficit is estimated to have narrowed to 4.2% of GDP, a slight improvement from the 12.6% deficit in 2023, while the capital and financial account has seen a surplus of 812 million from 2.1 billion in 2023. Mr. Speaker, sir, let me now turn to the fiscal update for 2024. Mr. Speaker, sir, the government continued to see strong performance from total government revenue collections in 2024. The total SAG revenue receipts collected was 7% above the projected estimates of 3,312 million. This strong revenue collection came from IRD and customs, which made up for the under-collection from other ministries' non-tax revenue. Non-tax revenue collected only 85%. So on the SAG expenditure side, the government executed about 95% of the total revised budget, of which recurring budget was spent at 92%. Total actual development expenditure was 76%, or 501.4 million. The underspending by 24% in development budget is mainly due to slowdown in government activities pre and post general elections. Mr. Speaker, sir, the Ministry of Finance and Treasury is currently working on the tax reforms and other legislative review aimed at improving and enabling the business environment by modernizing tax system of the ministry of the country and at the same time enhance economic growth for Solomon Islands. And one of those important fiscal reform is the reviewing of the Solomon Islands tax system. The tax reform seeks to deliver a fair, simple and broad-based tax system which ensures everyone who is liable to pay tax pays the correct amount. Mr. Speaker, the tax reform agenda is very lengthy, demands a lot of resources, and thus the government has decided to do the tax reform in phases. Phase 1 involves the development of the Tax Administration Act and the value-added tax. The Tax Administration Act was passed in Parliament in 2022 and enacted on the 1st of January 2023. The Tax Administration Act provides the basis for the administration of tax laws of Solomon Islands. Mr. Speaker, sir, the intention is to modernize the administrative arrangement and ensure the consistency across all administered by the Commission of Inland Revenue Commissioner. The Act also amends the Goods Tax Act, the Income Tax Act, the Sales Tax Act, the Stamp Duties Act, to remove the existing administrative rules and enable the administration of those acts to be carried out under the Tax Administration Act of 2022. Mr. Speaker, sir, the value-added tax VAT bill is expected to be tabled in Parliament this year. The value-added tax is essentially a tax that is charged on broad range of transactions for most goods and services, with tax deduction mechanism allowing businesses to offset VAT paid on inputs. It is a tax on final consumption by household that is collected by businesses in a staged payment process. It's taxable. Business pays VAT to its suppliers on its inputs and receives VAT from the customers on its outputs. So the first phase of the tax reform agenda is almost complete. The Attorney General Chambers has completed its final vetting of the VAT Bill 2025 and is expected to be introduced in Parliament mid-2025. Cabinet paper has been prepared for Cabinet approval of the VAT Bill to be tabled in Parliament. I urge all members to support this bill when presented in this Honourable House, because it will transform our tax system, enhance business growth, and will increase and protect government revenue. Mr. Speaker, sir, for the phase 2, the tax reform team has already started initial work on phase 2 with the rewrite of the income tax. Cabinet has already approved the key policy issues in 2024 that could potentially be part of the rewrite. With that, Economic Reform Unit and the Asian Development Bank advisors are currently working on developing a policy paper. Mr. Speaker, apart from the tax reform, there are also other legislative and financial reforms that are currently work in progress for review. This includes one Insurance Act. Sir, Cabinet this year has also endorsed the key policy recommendations of the Insurance Act rewrite. Currently, ADB, through the Pacific Private Sector Development Initiative, is assisting CBSI on the drafting instructions for the drafting of the Insurance Amendment Bill. Second, the Financial Institution Act review. There is a need to review the Financial Institutions Act and bring it in line with current international standards and the Solomon Islands financial sector, both of which have since evolved and changed since the Financial Institution Act was enacted. Currently, the Asian Development Bank, through the PSDI, is assisting on the drafting of the Financial Institution Act Amendment Bill. Third is the National Provident Fund Act. The current NPF Act was found to be out of date, creating weakness within the NPF's financial management and governance. The current Act also hampers the effectiveness of financial sector supervision to carry out their tasks effectively. Reform of the SINPF Act is needed to develop an adequate legislative framework for the operation and prudential regulation of the fund as a modern and efficient funds management operation. Currently, Asian Development Bank, through the PSDI, is working on the drafting instructions, and Attorney General Chambers to do the drafting of the bill. Fourth, amendment to Income Tax Act. Ongoing consultation with key stakeholders, including government ministries, Honiara City Council, including women groups. Discussion papers are currently being prepared for second round of consultation. Mr. Speaker, sir, the government through the Ministry of Finance and Treasury negotiated and approved the donor-funded projects in 2023-2024, and drawdown will commence in 2025. First, Integrated Solid Waste Management Project. The project was funded by the Asian Development Bank of US $19.3 million. The project will help the Greater Honiara area, the Solomon Islands' main urban center, to become more livable, environmentally sustainable, and climate change and disaster resilient. Second is the Community Access and Urban Services Enhancement Project, or Course 2, funded by the World Bank, worth 37 million. Course 2 will increasingly focus on economic growth, climate resilience, planned improvement to transport networks, and enhancing prospects for sustainable urban management and service delivery. Course 2 will support the second area of engagement, contributing directly to the objective of improving access to services delivery in underserved communities. It will expand investments in resilient urban infrastructure and services and provide additional economic opportunities for vulnerable urban residents. Given the challenge of equitable service delivery, particularly in peri-urban areas marked by informality, the Course 2 will strengthen urban management capacity and resourcing. Third is the Renewable Energy Project under the Asian Development Bank and Saudi Fund for Development Program, worth 32 SPD million. The project will finance the construction of one megawatt grid connected solar photovoltaic power plant in Honiara. Second, a 1.5 megawatts grid connected hydro solar PV power plant and 1 megawatts for battery storage in Malaita province. Fourth is the National Nutritional Project under the International Food and Agriculture Development, funded by Korean government, worth US $9.2 million. This project aims at improving nutrition and food security and reducing poverty in rural areas, building on the indigenous people's traditional farming systems. The project will adopt a nutrition-sensitive and inclusive approach that will link nutrition behavior change with agricultural production for home consumption and for the market. Fifth, Tina Hydro project, additional funding gap worth US $75.5 million. The ministry is currently negotiating bilateral and multilateral negotiations to secure these additional commitments needed to complete this project. There is a long due diligence and review done on post-escalation because of COVID-19, Mr. Speaker. Our engineers, Longo Oketa, Solomon Power, did a thorough job on this. We cannot avoid this unforeseen cost escalation, which amounts to US $75.5 million. But we have to secure this to be able to complete Tina Hydro project. Sixth, Mr. Speaker, Solomon SIG support for telecommunication towers company. The tower project implementation progressing smoothly. The project was implemented in 3 phases to construct the mobile towers over a 3-year period. Phase 1 covers the construction of mobile towers in Guadalcanal, Central and Isabel Province. Phase 2 covers Western and Choiseul Province. Phase 3 covers Malaita, Makira, and Ulava and Temotu and Rendell provinces, which are approximately 42 towers, 68 towers, and 51 towers, respectively. To date, 28 towers are already go live, 27 pending to go live, and 51 towers are currently being constructed in various stages. Mr. Speaker, turning to 2025 fiscal framework, the economic outlook for 2025 is slightly more optimistic, with a projected growth of around 3.3%. The key factors expected to drive this growth includes the increased infrastructure investment, expansion on the agriculture and fisheries, recovery in tourism and ongoing mining operations from gold ridge mining and nickel mining in Isabel Province and Treasury Province. However, Mr. Speaker, sir, there are risks and ongoing challenges such as the decline in logging activities that has reduced foreign exchange earnings and hindered broader economic development, and that many may continue to pose risks. Moreover, the country's reliance on foreign aid and debt-financed projects remains a concern, particularly in terms of long-term fiscal sustainability. While 2025 offers moderate optimism due to infrastructure development and sectoral growth, Solomon Islands' economy needs to diversify its economy further to ensure sustainable growth beyond its traditional reliance on sectors such as logging, fishing, and agriculture. Mr. Speaker, sir, with the new developments led by President Trump administration, the government is closely monitoring the ongoing tariff tensions and is taking necessary steps to mitigate any potential impacts. Solomon Islands falls under President Trump's reciprocal tariff baseline of 10%, making some of our neighbors to face significantly or a little bit higher tariffs, like Fiji at 32%, Nauru at 30%, and Vanuatu at 22%. This presents a competitive advantage for our kava exporters to the United States, especially given the importance of this commodity to regional economies. Mr. Speaker, sir, on the expenditure side for the first quarter as at 31st March 2025, the government recorded an overall deficit of 24 million expenditure. Expenditure is higher than total revenue receipts. Total year-to-date SRG revenue receipt is 22% of the total SRG revenue estimates, and year-to-date SRG expenditure is 17%. Inland revenue and customs continue to perform strongly above pro rata collection, while non-tax revenue receipts from other ministries is below their pro rata estimates. Sir, all expenditure items expended were below pro rata as expected due to slow starts to government operations, and capital projects in the first quarter will pick up in the second quarter and beyond. Mr. Speaker, sir, the government is currently implementing the Solomon Islands Education Act approved in 2023. The Ministry of Education is in collaboration with and support from Ministry of Finance and Ministry of Public Service have successfully completed the cleansing and proper alignment of teachers' payroll data in late April. This has been a meticulous exercise that took more than 6 months to complete, as it was critically necessary to have been completed at 100% of all teachers' payroll data. This has enabled the subsequent adjustments and testing to be conducted in the SRG Orion payroll system from end of April up to now, to enable the smooth migration of data between the Ministry of Education and the Orion system. Sir, I would like to inform this Honourable House that the releveling of the teachers' new salary structure and normal police salary will be effected in the pay run on May 15, 2025, this week, Thursday. This will include the payout of the backdated to February 1st, as per company decision, portion of the teachers' relevelled salary, as well as the new level salary structure henceforth. Also, as you would aware, Mr. Speaker, sir, in 2025, the government approved 3% COLA, cost of living adjustment. Therefore, in this juncture, I would also like to announce that the 2025 COLA adjustments for the established and non-established public servants will be effected in the pay run on May 2022. This will include the payout of the backdated COLA to January 1st portion, as well as the COLA adjusted salaries henceforth. Similarly, sir, the 2025 COLA adjustments for teachers based on relevelled pay structure and police will be affected in the May run on May 29th, 2025. This will include the payout of the backdated COLA to January 1st portion, as well as the COLA adjusted salaries henceforth. So this will all happen this month, Mr. Speaker. The relevelling and also COLA payout to teachers, police and all public servants. Mr. Speaker, sir, let me turn to strengthening of our revenue leakages or enhancement of revenue collection. So the Non-Tax Revenue Committee was established last year to lead the work of non-tax revenue, as it was one of the key policy priorities for GNET's government policy. The Ministry of Finance and Treasury, as the leading ministry, have done 2 weeks consultation in March 2025 with key identified ministries to identify their challenges and plans for non-tax revenue reforms. So currently, economic reform is compiling a report which outlines the short and long-term actions ministries are to undertake to improve the non-tax revenue regime. World Bank is also supporting the land ministries to improve revenue collections. These identified ministries include lands, to improve the land registry, to move the land registry to Ministry of Lands, as well as updating of the regulations to impose more updated fees. Second, the fisheries, updated fees and charges needs to be reviewed. Transport, gazetted regulation on updated fees and licenses and inspection needs to be done as well. Second, on Suffrain's Wharf review, Mr. Speaker, sir, the government is also reviewing the Suffrain's Wharf issue, as well the Leroy Wharf international port status. This is based on the operational experience since the policies is implementation and lessons learned to guide future decisions on wharf management, stakeholder collaboration, as well as to protect government revenue. A decision on the outcome of this review will be made soon within the next few days. A review of exemption management, sir. After taking the new role, I've also instructed my officials to review the management of all exemption processes. The intention is to...
Mr. Speaker, it's now 4:30. I seek your consent to move a suspension of Standing Order 10 in accordance with Standing Order 81.
Leave is granted, Honourable Prime Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that Standing Order 10 be suspended in accordance with Standing Order 81 to permit the continuation and completion of the business of the House until adjourned by the Speaker in accordance with Standing Order 10.5.
Thank you, Honourable Prime Minister. Honourable members, unless any other member wishes to comment on this motion, I will put a question. And the question is that Standing Order 10 be suspended in accordance with Standing Order 81 to permit the continuation and the completion of the business of the House until adjourned by the Speaker in accordance with Standing Order 10.5. All those in favour, say aye.
Aye.
All those against, say no. I think the ayes have it. The ayes have it. Standing Order 10 therefore stands suspended, and we may continue the business of the House until adjourned by the Speaker in accordance with Standing Order 10.5. You may wish to continue, Honourable Minister of Finance and Treasury.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Sir, after taking the new role as Minister of Finance, I've also instructed my officials to review the management of all exemption processes. The intention is to stop or minimize the unnecessary leakage of government revenue. Sir, as you are aware of tax exemptions through wider public perceptions, as Minister responsible, I am determined to stop the exemption committee to support the exemption committee to minimize or manage the revenue leakages through exemptions. Tax exemptions are guided by the Customs and Excise Amendment Act, with the exemption committee managing the incentive process. With political will, the exemption can be managed by the current tax incentive regime. In support to the current exemption process, exemption guidelines have been developed and used to better manage the tax exemptions. Mr. Speaker, sir, the review of mining agreements and MOUs is one of the key policy intentions of the GNAT government. My ministry, in close consultation with the Minister of Mines, Energy and Rural Electrifications, are currently undertaking a comprehensive review of mining agreement and memorandum of understanding with various mining companies operating within the country. This initiative is part of a broader effort to align existing agreements with the government's evolving economic, legal and policy frameworks. A key driver for this review is the development of a new mining bill, which seeks to modernize and strengthen the country's mining regulatory regime. To ensure consistency, the mining agreements must be revised to reflect the provisions of the forthcoming legislation. So work is currently going on this, Mr. Speaker. My intention is to make sure that they quickly do that review as soon as possible, so that we, if possible, change some of the provisions and clauses in the mining agreement and MOUs. Additionally, sir, the government's ongoing tax reform program introduces new legal and fiscal obligation for extractive industries, making it necessary for existing agreements to be updated accordingly. Alongside this review is the MOFT's, or Ministry of Finance, reviewing of the tax incentives that were provided to mining companies. So the review was eminent on the basis of inconsistencies and harmful clauses and distort the incentives provided to the mining companies. The review will better align incentives with the nature of the mining operations. For example, those that processed minerals and those that extracted raw minerals and shipped the unprocessed minerals for overseas refining. My ministry is working with the Attorney General's Chamber and Minister of Mines and Energy to make sure the MOU review is within the laws. Tax incentives are provided to the mining companies on the basis of initial constructions and infrastructure development phase of the project. Risks to 2025 budget implementation, Mr. Speaker, sir. Despite the optimism about the 2025 outlook, the challenges still remains. 2025 budget is very tight, and any deviation from the planned estimates will have significant impact on the execution of the 2025 budget. These risks, Mr. Speaker, sir, first is the slow SAG revenue collections. The slow collections of revenue than anticipated will impact cash management. This includes revenue mismatch between the revenue receipts and expenditures on monthly basis. Second, access to securing development bonds. The ongoing negotiation and securing of funds from the same key SOEs may lead to low appetite and response to government issuance of bonds. Third, uncertainties in timing and quantum of general budget support. Development partners may reduce quantum of funding and push timing to right to the end of the financial year. Fourth, delay in the pipeline grants. The delay in the 2025 pipeline grants will have significant impact on the implementation of the 2025 major development and priorities of the government. And fifth, paying off a large sum in any one time. Paying off big ticket items in one time affects implementation of other government priorities as well. Scheduling of big payments through installments would ease the pressure of payments at any one time. So these are the risks, Mr. Speaker, that lies ahead in implementation of the budget, and the Ministry is well aware of them and will find ways to mitigate them and cushion them. Mr. Speaker, sir, while I have the opportunity, I would like to inform the House about government's strategic policy direction in preparation for the 2026 budget. The 2026 budget will be the second budget of the GNAT. Initial discussions and consultations on the setting of the 2026 budget framework has already commenced, led by the Ministry of Finance and Treasury. So, given the critical development challenges highlighted earlier, there is an urgent call for more practical and strategic policy intervention needed in the way the budget is allocated and utilized. It is time we focus our resources on areas of strength where we have the competitive advantage to achieve sustainable growth by increasing participation from our rural populace and adopting a private sector-led approach to the development of productive and resource sectors. Mr. Speaker, sir, the government must address essential services that touches the very lives of our people, such as health, education, police and security, justice and economic infrastructure. So further discussions will be conducted in the coming weeks. Mr. Speaker, before I conclude, I would like to thank the Prime Minister again for the opportunity to contribute to the motion. I also wish to thank our colleague ministers from both sides of the House who have contributed and who will also contribute later on. On the same note, I would like to thank the leaders of churches and their congregation to support the government through prayers and to continue to seek spiritual enrichments and God's intervention in our governing of our country. So I would also like to give a big thanks to our business communities for supporting the government. The partnership between the government and the business communities, especially through the Chamber of Commerce, is a pillar in our progress, Speaker. To our bilateral and multilateral development partners, our partnership over years now has been constructive, very fruitful, and we would not be where we are now without your great support in terms of finance, technical assistance, medical education, and towards our major infrastructure needs. To our hard-working public servants who have remained committed over the years, I thank you for supporting the government in ensuring key essential services continue to be provided to the people of Solomon Islands. Mr. Speaker, sir, in light of these comments, I now resume my seat. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Minister of Finance and Treasury. Any other members wish to contribute about the Honourable Prime Minister?
Mr. Speaker, I move that the debate on the question be now adjourned until the next sitting day.
Thank you, honourable members. Pursuant to Standing Order 10, Parliament is now adjourned until Tuesday, 9:30 a.m. Tuesday, 13th May 2025.